In one incarnation, he is Corbyn the Barbarian, facing off against the Medusa. In another, Corbyn leaves his mild-mannered allotment of solitude to take on the interdimensional invasion fleet of Daily Mail death drones blasting everything with their Tory food bank raise with a rallying battle cry of "Jam on!" Just in time for the Labour Party conference, an unlikely superhero is preparing to take his place alongside the likes of Spider-Man and Wonder Woman. Jeremy Corbyn. Independent graphic novel publisher Self-Made Arrow says it has received a tsunami of submissions since it opened its doors to comic book creators a month ago, asking for comics on the subject of the Labour leader. Contributors to the Corbyn comic book, which will be launched at the Labour Party conference in Brighton in September, include Guardian cartoonist Steve Bell, Martin Rosen and Stephen Collins, and comics artists Carrie Fransman and Stephen Appleby, along with a host of strips from new writers and illustrators received during the open submission period. Corbyn copyright Martin Rosen. Photograph Self-Made Arrow. Many of the comics feature Corbyn making and wielding jars of jam, the Labour Party leader's culinary hobby, while others have chosen to anoint Corbyn with superhuman powers. In Lethal Corbyn 3, with a repeated chant of "Ooh, Jeremy Corbyn" echoing through the air, the leader of the opposition clenches his fists and transforms into a superhero, crushing the skull of a robotic version of Theresa May beneath his boot. Elsewhere, he and his cat El Gato stalk the night, seeing off Tories attempting to resurrect Thatcher from the dead. Corbyn has numerous quirks that lend themselves to these kind of light-hearted stories, such as his allotment, the jam-making and El Gato, all stories that have made it into the Corbyn comic book, said Self-Made Arrow's managing director Emma Haley, who said the project was born out of Corbyn's rise in popularity and his status as a cultural phenomenon. From Welcome to Britsville, copyright Lewis Netter and Ollie Gruner. Photograph Self-Made Arrow. When Self-Made Arrow put out the call for submissions, there was a huge response. Just as Corbyn seems to have captured the imagination of the people, so has our comic book about him. It's a bit of a departure from what we would ordinarily do, but it was the right time to do it, she said. We received over 100 new submissions for the book and were thrilled that the idea has been so well received. While the book will be launched from a table at the Labour Party conference, Haley said it had also had a really good response from booksellers, like Blackwell's sales manager Dave Kelly, who said that the Jeremy Corbyn effect was certainly felt in the shop through book sales and conversations both on the shop floor and in the staff room. The Corbyn comic book should appeal to old lefties, Corbynites and maybe even some Brexiteers too. From Jam copyright Richard Deering. Photograph Self-Made Arrow. While she herself is a Corbyn fan, I don't think it'd have done it otherwise. Haley says the anthology is light-hearted, not particularly political. We did it more to show that a phenomenal thing happened in the elections, as that "Oh, Jeremy Corbyn" chant swept the country. American politicians have trod the pages of comic books in the past. Barack Obama appeared in a Spider-Man graphic novel, and also starred as the mighty hero Barack the Barbarian, taking on Bush the Dim and Chani the Grim. But Haley was unable to name another time that a UK political leader had been immortalized in graphic novel form. I can't think of a comic which has had one of our prime ministers on the front, she said. But this is the right time for the Corbyn comic. But what does Corbyn the Barbarian think of it all? A spokesperson for Jeremy Corbyn told The Guardian, "With great power comes great responsibility." The Corbyn comic book is published by Self-Made Arrow in September, at £4.99.